Hello to all the silver stackers out there. I just noticed something. I bought these coins recently and I looked at the back, or I should say the front. Each one of these coins has Queen Elizabeth II. Um, I was like, I wonder why there's so many Queen Elizabeth II on here. I'm like, okay, I remember when I first bought this maple leaf coin, it had the Queen Elizabeth II on it, and I didn't really care. And I always wanted this Fujitaku, and this one also has the Queen Elizabeth II. Um, and of course, even the Silver Britannia, I can understand having, you know, the Queen Elizabeth II on there because it's from England. I'm like, well, why is it that Canada, Australia, and New Zealand all have Queen Elizabeth II on here? And I found out that they're all part of the British Commonwealth, or more known as the British Empire. And it just so happens that Chris Duane from Truth Never Told put up a video about this, and he has a new round out for about a month, and I'm going to put a his video in the next segment. Okay, and so take a look and watch. Pretty good information.
Let me issue and control the nation's money, and I care not who makes its laws. Meyer Rothschild. I have spent a great deal of time working at the heart of the debt and death paradigm with the Rothschild banking family. Now it is time to get to the figurehead of it, Queen Elizabeth. The long and bloody trail of the British Empire has a record that cannot be matched. Believe it or not, the British have invaded 9 out of 10 countries on Earth in their pursuit of global domination. Literally, only 22 nations have not felt the debt and death of the British Empire, and yet we hold this royal family in high esteem. Well, no more. Queen Elizabeth's early rise to power came after her stuttering father, George VI, lost control of the empire that the sun never sat upon, and died of lung cancer, and that only George VI came to power after his brother, Edward VIII, abdicated the throne, supposedly for the love of Wallis Simpson. Well, I don't believe that fairy tale, as it was because of his embarrassing support for the Nazi regime and the rise of Hitler. Even Queen Elizabeth's husband, Prince Philip, was a Nazi supporter, and all 4 of his sisters married German princes, and 3, Sophie, Cecile, and Margarita, became members of the Nazi Party. The British supported the Nazis as a scheme to divide and conquer Europe between fascists and communists, as they made a move into the Middle East for oil. The royal family was such strong supporters of the Nazi regime that Rudolf Hess actually secretly flew to England in the middle of the war to stop the feud between the two countries that he loved. While the Nazi bombs were blasting London, one of the most famous propaganda pieces used in Britain was "Keep calm and carry on." I wonder if the British subjects would have been so calm if they had known that the royal family that they held in high regard funded the foundation of the Nazi war machine through bankers like Hjalmar Schacht with the help of Bank of England's Sir Montague Norman. After World War I, Germany fell into the hands of international bankers. Those bankers bought her, and they now own her lock, stock, and barrel. They have purchased her industries. They have mortgages on her soil. They control her production. They control all of her public utilities. The international bankers have subsidized the present German government, and they have supplied every dollar of money Adolf Hitler has used to lavish his campaign to build up a threat to the government of Brüning. When Brüning fails to obey the orders of the international bankers, Hitler is brought forth to scare the Germans into submission. The international bankers have supplied over $30 billion that has been pumped into Germany. You have all heard of the spending that has taken place in Germany. Modernistic dwellings, her planetariums, her gymnasiums, her swimming pools, her fine public highways, and her perfect factories. All this was done with our money. All this was given to Germany through the Federal Reserve Board. The Federal Reserve Board has pumped so many billions of dollars into Germany that they dare not name the total. Congressman Louis T. McFadden, Democrat, Pennsylvania, who served 12 years as the chairman of the Committee on Banking and Currency. I have always felt it was a little bit insane that people would rebel against the debt and death paradigm and yet go run to Tim Geithner's treasury in the U.S. Mint to go buy silver eagles, or worse, buy a silver coin with an elitist ruler on the back. I hope this coin is enough to get people to stop fawning over these elitists that enslave humanity through debt and death. It seems that every few years they update the Queen's profile to show her age over the past 60 years. Now it is time to look at the true nature of this elitist ruler that is on the back of so many silver coins. Heidi Wastweed is back with her slave queen design. Her attention to detail is simply amazing. Who else can make a queen that is famous for not smiling make her skull smile? Also, pay attention in the crown. In the band, the word obey is prominently displayed under three famous symbols. The first symbol is the poppy blossom, symbolizing the many-decade opium war against China. Most people don't know that England actually had a huge trade deficit with China many years ago, and since all trade was settled with China in silver, England was running out of silver, and the only way that the British could balance that trade was through importing heroin to the port cities of China. When the Chinese emperor finally put a stop to this, England declared war against China and took over all the main ports. This is the reason why Hong Kong was under control of the British Empire, funding drugs. That drug trade was the foundation of many of the British banks, including HSBC, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Corporation, who even today is still laundering billions of drug dollars through their system. The second symbol in her crown is the Rothschild crest, which made its first appearance in the Debt and Death medallion. They are the true rulers of the Anglo-American Empire, and she is merely a figurehead. And maybe she's starting to come around to understand that she is no longer in power, and it is the bankers that have won. The final symbol is the all-seeing eye that the elite love to flaunt over us. The all-seeing eye is a psychological warfare to get people to self-regulate their behavior. As soon as people throw off that fear and start living life as the way that they wish to, they no longer have control over us. This site is complete with the real message behind what the elites are telling their serfs with the stiff upper lip mentality. Keep calm and slave on.